Welcome to the inaugural episode of Loosely Canon, where the lore is kinda optional. My name is Grimz, and I'm here with Eclipse. Today we're breaking down Destiny 1, where Guardians protect and darkness beckons.
I'm not too familiar with the Destiny series, so this is going to be interesting to hear a admittedly scuffed version of it.
Oh, it's really scuffed.
I can't wait.
Alright, let's get some, a little backstory first, right?
Sure.
So, it starts out, you got this weird orb-like thing called the Traveler. And it just kind of goes through solar systems and just kind of provides technology and what is called light.
Okay.
It looks...
Yes.
No, obviously I'm going to show you the real...
sun.
I'm going to show you the real version of what it looks like, too. So, yeah, that's what it looks like.
He's a bit more spherical in that one. He might bounce if you drop him,
Just kind of randomly traverses the universe. And it has this foe that follows it all the time called literally the darkness.
The thing that provides light is haunted by the darkness. Did a fucking Final Fantasy dev write this? Like, if you tell me there's going to be 4 crystals representing the elements, I'm out, I swear.
No, but there are 4 enemy races.
Close enough.
So when it arrives to Earth, the people on Earth and everything goes through this era known as the Golden Age, where just technology booms, everyone's having a great time. But, with every good thing, there's a collapse. And that's when the Traveler kind of starts not working as much and really only communicating to one guy who's technically called the Speaker of the Traveler.
Jesus.
And,
oh, Jesus.
Because the collapse happens and suddenly there's this race called the Fallen that, kind of search for the Traveler because it actually used to be on their world and helped them through a rough time.
Okay.
So
for the orb dead.
Let's show the Fallen, shall we? So you got the Fallen, right? You got the little guy, like cannon fire dude named the Dreg, and yes, they all kind of got like 4 arms. But the Drake had his, like, bottom 2 ripped off or some shit. I don't really remember that part. Then you got your little, like, lieutenant guys. They're the Vandals. They're a little stronger, a little more powerful.
They have full arms.
Yeah.
Scary.
The Captains, they're strong. They usually got, like, an energy shield kind of thing going on with them.
Okay.
Servitors, they're like these weird mechanical like ether powered machines, and that's kind of what the Fallen are all about. They're all about their ether.
Okay.
And then there's the Shanks. They're just little gun drone kind of things.
Can't help but notice the Shanks and the Servitors have no arms. Which means they're either the least powerful or the most powerful, depending on the arm hierarchy here.
They're just machines. Oh, another little thing about the Servitor is it can actually put like a little shield onto the other guys and kind of help protect them from damage. So if you're like fighting them in game, you kind of want to target them first.
Or just fire a flat cannon and hope for the best.
No. Would you like to see what they actually look like?
Let's see it.
Because a great.
I'm sitting here laughing, but I can't draw worth a damn. So it's like, when I do mine, it's going to be horrible.
There you go. You got.
Okay.
See, it wasn't terrible. It was
Yeah.
terrible.
It wasn't that bad. It was that bad. The servitor looks right. The one that's just a ball.
Yeah, I mean the shank's not terrible either.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that kind of started causing this thing called the collapse.
Okay.
So the traveler, it shoots out these things called ghosts, and they are little, basically, beings of light that are part of the traveler that can revive dead things and give them the powers of the traveler.
Okay.
And that's how
Oh,
we get
that's
the
what
Guardians.
the light level is. And that's what the light level
That's a
is.
ghost, by the way.
Clever.
You like it? Listen, it's
Can't look him right in the eye.
it's not terrible.
It's not that far off, no.
So yeah. And this is where
That's what they look like when my GPU overheats.
This is where we're gonna get into the little lore of the first mission.
Alright.
So, how it begins is this ghost is wandering the wastelands of old Russia, which is obviously just Russia.
It's just regular Russia, but now it's old.
Basically, it's old now. It's just wandering the wasteland looking for us, looking for our body, and it revives us. And so we are now a guardian. So this mission, we're going through old Russia, trying to find a way to travel to what is known as the last city. It's the last like saving grace of humanity, and there's this main part called the tower where all the like guardians live and just kind of all the protectors of humanity are. So we got the tower.
God.
So I told you
You're
this
gonna
was
have to start-
scuffed.
You're gonna have to start warning me when these things pop up because I thought that was a soda can for a second. I was like, huh?
The tower.
The tower.
So you find the ship. You have to fight this basically large version of a captain that's called an Archon Priest. They're basically just like super powerful captains. You fight them. You get the ship and you fly to the tower, where you are welcomed by what are known as the Vanguard. The Vanguard are the leaders of the Guardians, and each one
Leaders of
represents
the different bricks.
and the Guardian, the Vanguard. There's one for each of the classes, which there's Warlocks, Titans, and Hunters. You got your squishy little space magic guys, and then you got obviously Titans are gonna be beefy boys,
Tanks. Yeah.
and Hunters are your like DPS. So
Your DPS. Your classic rogue or gunslinger build is usually a hunter. From what
let's
played.
talk about the Vanguard, huh? We got
Please tell me you have pictures. Please.
we got Cade 6, who's the Hunter Vanguard. We got Zavala, who's the Titan Vanguard, and we got Ikora, who's the Warlock Vanguard. You know, it's perfect.
It's literally just Nolan North of the triangle. Or not Nolan North, fucking God, brain word.
Nathan Fillion.
Fillion. That one, yeah. Guy Gardner.
I mean, ready? This is what Kate looks like. It's not
I mean,
that far
yeah,
off.
you're not that far off.
Since he does play Cade, so
He does.
and then we got Zavala. You know, it's Lance Reddick, but blue.
Yeah.
And then so Ikora just kind of was like, she bald and she knows a lot of magic shit, and so therefore Aang but black worked. So you see where I was getting it.
Sure. Go with that.
They kind of teach you like what's been going on with the city and everything, how the Vanguard's trying to push back these alien forces so that they don't breach the last city. So this kind of is where we get the role of being like the fucking protagonist, and we have to fucking do everything because, you know, typical protagonist, gotta do everything while everyone else sits back.
That's how it goes. It's like any RPG. Somehow you're the only capable person in the universe, and it's like, what do you
Yeah,
mean?
you know, why would anyone else do anything
And
when you can have this one person do everything for you?
I woke up half an hour ago, and you are literally the most powerful version of my class. The fuck you mean I have to do this death mission?
Of course, being the protagonist, the Vanguard, you know, even though they're like the most powerful guardians of their class, they send you back out to old Russia in what's known as the Cosmodrome, and you have to kind of figure out what's going on with the Fallen and why they're choosing to take over this place. So what you do is you kind of find this old communications array that you have to fight to the Fallen to regain control and get back up and working. And that kind of helps you and the Vanguard get more information once that's up and running about the forces that are attacking Earth and whatnot. Right. After all that shit, because why not? You are like, all right, hey Vanguard. Yeah, the Fallen have kind of taken over a lot of Earth's surface. We're kind of fucked.
That's
And they're
why we
like-
have the tower.
And they're like, oh no. How about you go find more information about why they're doing this? Also, I forgot I had a perfect picture of Earth to show. Because in case everyone forgot what Earth looked like.
Yeah, there it is. Good old Earth.
Good old Earth. Oh, by the way, that last bit, that was mission 2, by the way. We're now on to mission 3.
All right. Mission 3 of this
Mission
27
3.
chapter series.
It's how many missions is it? 16.
Pretty
so
decent.
so while we're looking for more information about the Fallen, we discover this other alien race known as the Hive, and they're kind of like this insectoid like race.
They're evil
and,
bumblebees. No.
And
My worst fear.
not quite like that. More I you'll have to see the real picture, but so we got the typical cannon fire, the thralls. They basically have like no weapons at all. They just kind of run at you and smack you. The cursed thralls, they'll blow up on you. They're you know, like typical good old suicide bombers.
Sounds like my ex.
And every Titan just loves to punch them because Titan eat cran, small brain.
They're the Marines of the Destiny universe.
Yeah, pretty much. Acolytes, they're a little smarter. They got guns. They'll shoot at you because fuck you. Knights, they're a little more interesting. They have a like explosive kind of round gun, and they can spawn up this little like it's not a shield that goes all the way around them. It's just like in front of them, and when they sit behind it and you're not doing any damage to them because of that, they actually regenerate their health.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you got the wizards. They are flying little fucks. And they like to shoot little balls of energy at you. And
I don't know if they're little fucks. Judging by this very skilled artistic depiction, they're as big as the ogre.
They're actually not that small. Also, the ogre is a lot bigger. But we'll get to that.
Should get a not to scale picture.
And I don't fully remember from Destiny 1, but I know in Destiny 2. So this is a little off. But in Destiny 2, they can put down this like poison field that'll damage you over time. Is it in Destiny 1? I don't fully remember. I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, they can be annoying because they like rapidly shoot out their shots. And they also have an energy shield, kind of like the captains did.
Okay, yeah, for the Fallen.
Yeah. So the ogres, they're like this big, beefy mass of flesh, and they shoot out like beams, pretty much, of energy that can fucking melt you. They also love, like, if you get up close to them, they love just like slamming down their arms and causing like a knockback effect on you.
Big old shockwave.
Yeah. And then the shriekers. So shriekers are annoying as hell. They like to stay closed if you're far away from them, and you can only hit them when they're open because they're like these hard carapace things that have like this energy within them, and the energy is what attacks you. And let's see here, in the first game, which is obviously what we're talking about, they kind of acted more like a shotgun, and the shots would actually like track you down.
Oh, that's kind of terrifying. It's already a devastating blast at close range, but you're telling me they follow me?
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'll probably get around to this whenever I decide to do a Destiny 2 one as well. But in Destiny 2, they switched it so it's kind of more like a machine gun, and it just almost constantly shoots out shots, and they still track you.
They're still bastards.
Yeah. And now for the fun part, to see what they actually look like.
Oh god, yes.
So let's get that thrall up there. Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
No, he's doing a different dance too.
And then you know, where the hell's my cursed thrall? Where's he at? There he is. See, they got that glowiness. They kind of go boom.
Yeah.
Got
The cursed thrall looks like his head is very squishy.
Also, I realized after I made the picture that thralls actually don't have the green eyes like the other hive do. So, yeah, they don't actually have the eyes.
Those ones are just wearing Sam Fisher goggles.
See, oh, right, I forgot to mention this. So, the reason they're kind of insectoid is they have this worm that actually controls their body. And those 3 dots are actually the eyes of the worm rather than the actual being itself.
Eyes of Worm, I think, is the next Dune movie.
Then, you know, you got the knight.
I actually don't hate that design. That looks kind of cool.
Wizard. And then, you know, big beefy boy ogre. As I told you, big fleshy mass.
Yeah.
And then
Just an absolute unit.
Everyone's least favorite thing, the Shrieker.
It's kind of look like It's kind of a weird side note. They kind of look like the creatures from the game Phoenix Point. If I remember to, after this, I'll send you a couple pictures so you can put up for reference. But in Phoenix Point, it's a mutation from the sea, like crabs and stuff. So people get abducted, taken there, and then they mutate into these weird, like, crab and sea creatures. And I'm just kind of getting the same kind of vibe looking at these guys.
I could see that.
Yeah. That game's fucking hard. A lot harder than XCOM. I hate it.
So after you deal with the hive and whatnot, you go back to the Vanguard, and they're like, "Oh shit, there's fucking hive on Earth. They're not supposed to be on Earth. We thought they were contained on the moon, because apparently in the past we've just kind of contained them to the moon for some reason."
You'll stay on the moon and you'll fucking like it.
And so Mr. Blue Lance Reddick, he says, "All right, you gotta investigate this more. We gotta know why the hive is here and why they are doing anything on Earth. And in case even though we're gonna get back to the moon a little bit more, in case you forgot what the moon looked like."
In case I haven't looked up in a while.
It kind of looks like that. All right, mission 4. Let's see. We attempt to access this thing called a war mind. Now, I would have, tried to make a drawing of this, but the thing about it is, it's an AI, so I don't really have anything to go off of that. So what Warmind is, it's like this AI planetary defense system, and it'll use like these planetary defense satellites to destroy incoming threats to Earth.
Okay.
And this one is named Rasputin. Why?
Yeah.
Because he's in the Cosmodrome.
Of course.
And because he's Rasputin, he also really loves like good old ballet music. Like that's literally a thing that you find out in one of the like strikes, which are like little extra missions you can do off on the side. We don't gotta worry about those. Those aren't part of the story.
Those don't matter.
They're a little extra lore, but we're just talking about the base story. We find him. We try to figure out if he can help us, and he just kind of doesn't really answer as much, and he's kind of does his own thing. And so the Vanguard are like, all right, well, I guess we'll just keep watch on him to see if he decides he wants to help us or not. We get to mission 5. We're on number 5 already. We decided we're going to continue on with activating Rasputin, and we decided we're going to secure a comms array so that we can establish communications to the other planets in the solar system. Because something I forgot to mention at the beginning of this is that at this point in time, Earth is basically colonized all of the planets in the solar system.
As it should.
Yeah, as it should. I mean,
as it should.
The Emperor protects.
Yeah, I was going to say, we are the Emperor's chosen.
So,
or for liberty. There's a lot of that going around right now.
We set up this comms array so we can talk to the other planets, because I guess it must have gone down in the collapse. So that kind of concludes the main part of the Earth story and helps us branch off to the other worlds. So,
okay.
Yeah. And this is when we start to hear more about how the Hive are really ramping up their activity on the moon. And so we're like, oh shit, the Hive is a lot bigger than we thought they were on the moon, and there's gotta be something that they're trying to do.
Whatever was on Earth must have just been scouts.
Yeah. Which, of course, then the Vanguard's like, hey, you're the protagonist. Go to the moon, figure it out. Then,
Can't help but notice you don't have a you don't have an essential tag. Therefore, you're the one we're gonna boss around.
What's that? You took care of all the main stuff on Earth? Ah, you can handle everything else on the moon. possibly everything else in the solar system. We're just gonna sit here and do our thing.
I'm sorry, you thought you earned some PTO? Hell no.
Alright. Mission 6. We're about a third of the way through.
Alright.
So mission 6. We discover the hive are present on the moon. We decide to investigate a little bit further. And we find this huge force of hive enemies. And we learn that there's these whispers of like this massive, powerful hive presence beneath the moon's surface.
Beneath the Earth's surface. Oh god.
Obviously, I misspoke. So our ghosts just kind of is analyzing their movements, and it's revealed that they have set this base of operations up, and so the Vanguard are like, "Oh God, that's not good. They've got to be like preparing for an invasion or something." So naturally,
as alien races tend to do.
So naturally, the Vanguard's like, "Hey, you figure out what their plans are." You know, good old protagonist. We go deeper into the moon and into what's so wonderfully named the world's grave. And this is mission 7, by the way. The world's grave. It is a hive library that contains data of everything that the hive have learned and what their forces are like and what their plans are. So we have to kind of hack into it and figure out what the hell's going on. With hacking into it, we figure out that there is some sort of hierarchy situation going on. We figure out their command structure, and the Vanguard are like, oh shit, they're organized. That's not good. Because, you know, why would an enemy not be organized? And for some reason, they didn't think that they would be. Mission 8. We are then sent to destroy a powerful weapon of the hive that we learned through the world's grave called the Sword of Crota. Now, we'll get into who or what Crota is in a little bit. All you need to know is he's basically controlling the hive on the moon.
Okay. So he's, as far as we know at this point, he's the big bad.
Yeah, as far as we know.
Alright.
So this Sword of Crota is been used by the hive on the moon to wipe out human forces in the past. And so when we finally reach it, we briefly use it ourselves to defeat hive enemies because they're just swarming us because they don't want us to get rid of it. And, yeah. So then we finally destroy the sword, and our ghost talks a little bit about what or who Crota is. And Crota is a hive god, essentially. He's not fully a god, but he kind of is because his father was a god, which is something for one of the expansions later on.
Okay.
That we'll get into in
he
a different video.
He himself is not a god, but he is there being of worship.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's essentially the hive prince.
Okay.
We've also get told by the ghost that like anyone who has ever wielded the Sword of Crota has just absolutely terrorized humanity in the past. And because we finally get rid of the sword, the Vanguard are like, alright, this is awesome. It's like a symbolic victory against the hive. And it's kind of like, yeah, but is it really? I mean, all we did was destroy one little sword.
All we did was piss them off.
Pretty much.
We knew they were ramping up for an invasion, and then we just gave them a damn good reason to start that.
Mission 9. We're still on the moon because fuck it. We aren't allowed back, I guess. So we then find out there is a plan from the Hive to drain the light away from the Traveler, which would, in theory, get rid of all the Guardians' powers as well. And
Oh, interesting.
yeah,
Because the Traveler gives the Guardians their source, but that is channeled through the Traveler itself. So if you power that down, then no one else gets hers. Okay. Interesting.
And we find this out because we go into this chamber below the moon's surface, and it's called the Chamber of Night. And it kind of they seem to have found a like shard of the Traveler, and you can see them siphoning away the light. And
they already know how to do it. They're
Yeah.
just trying to figure out how to get to the big one.
so our ghost, because our ghost does all of our analyzation and shit, is analyzing their rituals, and that reveals to us that they intend to destroy the last city. And obviously the Vanguard's like, oh fuck, that's not good.
Oh shit, we might have to do something.
And it's also kind of revealed to us around this time that the Hive kind of served the darkness. And so the Vanguard decide we need to put more resources towards studying the darkness and how we can combat it.
Flashlights usually work. In my experience, anyway.
So now the Vanguard sends us to destroy this massive shrine beneath the moon known as the Shrine of Oryx. And obviously...
Oryx? Or Orcs?
Oryx.
Oryx, okay.
And
Not aerospace.
Oryx is the Hive god. So, the father to Crota.
Okay.
So, this is like this Hive artifact that they use to worship and to kind of channel the dark energy. So, obviously, this kind of hints at the idea of there being Oryx because, you know, it's literally named after him. This is where we like finally emerge after destroying everything, and we get this message from this little person named the Exo Stranger. I probably should have mentioned the races at the beginning. So, there are these races in Destiny, just like there's classes. You can be a human.
I legit thought you were going to say just like in real life, and I was going to stop you. Oh my god.
There's humans, you know, like Ikora. She's a human. Then you got the Awoken, which is something we'll also get into a little bit later, but they're basically blue humans. And that's what Zavala is.
Lumens.
And then you got Exos, which are these like
Robots.
living sentient robots with actual consciousness of the person they used to be. And Cade is a prime example of that. And with Exos, the number after their name refers to how many times they've been rebooted.
Oh, interesting. So Cade 6 has died 6 times.
Yeah.
Or died, quote unquote. Okay.
And like when you played, and there's the gunsmith who's Banshee 44. So he's died 44 times.
44 times.
And
that poor bastard.
that's why he's basically just this vendor now, because he doesn't remember really anything of who he used to be.
So when they die, they lose part of their memories.
Yeah, because
Or like they're good.
the rebooting process is kind of like, yeah, you get everything back, but you also lose a little bit as well.
Okay. It's the same with when I log into YouTube on my computer and my phone goes off. It's like someone is doing this. It's like I'm aware. It's me. Like,
So
told you this before.
here's a great picture of the Exo Stranger that I definitely made myself, and it definitely looks like the Exo Stranger.
Okay.
Yep.
The fuck is that gun from?
It's from Destiny. It's
Okay. I was like,
it's
I recognize it.
It's actually a gun we'll get to at the end of the entire campaign. But it's
This is reminding me I gotta play Atomic Heart.
it's the game that, or the, goddamn it, you said game. It's the gun that the Exo Stranger herself actually uses.
Okay.
And you know, this is what you actually look like. And so she kind of appears at the end of when we come out from underneath the moon, and she sends us this message that there is a greater threat tied to the darkness than the hive. And it's kind of, obviously it's cryptic, and we're really not like sure what the hell she means by this. And we just know that we should probably warn the Vanguard that we got this message. So mission 11, we receive another message from the Exo Stranger, who tells us to investigate a powerful presence on Venus of a new alien race called the Vex. Are you ready for more pictures?
Oh god.
These ones are a little easier for me to draw because they're robot. They're like living.
I'm gonna tell the robots you said that.
They're like living robots with a hive mind.
Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Oh, these ones are named after like mythical creatures. Should I break out the fucking monster manual and compare these bitches?
So goblins, they're kind of the more cannon fodder group, and hobgoblins, they're the more sniper tactical ones, and they can actually, if you hit them a certain amount of damage and they don't die, they can actually regenerate themselves a little bit.
Okay.
And something I forgot to throw into these drawings is they have this little weak spot that is very recognizable, and it's like this little like white kind of like rectangular kind of shape. So kind of how they're alive-ish is they use this fluid called radiolaria. I can't really explain exactly what it is because I'm stupid.
I was gonna say dumb as a post.
It's like this electric fluid that just kind of keeps them alive.
Taser, got it.
So then you got the Minotaurs. They're obviously like the beefier kind of explosive kind of gun wielding ones, and they have this energy shielded usually to them, kind of like the captains and the wizards. And then you got the Hydras. They just have this constant revolving shield around them, and it's usually separated into either 2 or 3 parts.
Okay, that's what the little blockies are.
Yeah. And so the Hydras, they just kind of hover above ground. They're not actually touching the ground ever. And they have these like powerful cannons on them. So they're kind of a pain, especially when you have to like wait for the shield to go around before you can hit them. Real fun.
I'm sure.
Harpies, they're annoying little bastards. They're like the fast, agile, kind of shock trooper kind of deal. They just kind of zoom up, open up, and fire on you, and then they might move around and try to get away, and yeah. So, little shock trooper kind of deal. And Cyclops are these like basically stationary artillery kind of things.
Okay.
Yeah, they hurt. I don't know what else to say on that. They're just basically big cannons.
All these enemies are super interesting. Then you got the Cyclops. He just kind of sits there and shoots you, and he fucking sucks.
So you'll see on this actual picture the little weak spot with the radial area showing. So that's a goblin.
Yeah, is like torso.
And here's the hobgoblin.
Okay. Yeah. Is there a? Do you know if there's a lore reason that the goo is exposed, or is that just game design choice?
I don't know. Probably just game design so that they have a weak spot. Because they will still come at you if their head's blown off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if headshotting a fucking robot does much. It does if you're playing as the robot, but...
I also forgot to mention, while they are all like a hive mind thing, they also, fun part, they can teleport around through time and space.
Oh.
Yeah, and they can alter reality how they please.
Oh, cool. So we're dealing with the fucking Terminator gambit.
Pretty much.
Great.
That Hydra in there. See, I think I did a pretty good job showing the shield.
Yeah. I like the design of the Hydra. Yeah, you made him a big one block though. You didn't really show he has some ribs. So.
I wasn't gonna try and do that.
You could have just done some wigglies.
Got the harpy. And then big old cannon boy.
Yeah, that literally just looks like a fixed gun emplacement. Probably because it is.
It is. So, yeah. The Vex. They're, yeah.
There's something alright.
So you're introduced to them and you're like, well, these things are probably not going to be great for humanity. So after you get done fighting through some of them, the Exo Stranger continues to warn you about the Vex and being like, hey, they can really fuck shit up because they can teleport around, they can fuck with time. You should probably figure out what the hell their plan is. Which is where we get to Mission 12. I also forgot. I gotta show you a picture of Venus in case you forgot what Venus looks like. Yeah, Venus looks like this, right?
Sure. Whatever you say, bro.
Mission 12. We go to a place called the Ishtar Collective. And it is a place where people, humans who have colonized on Venus, they've been researching the Vex, and so all their information is in this Ishtar Collective. So we go there to kind of hopefully not deal with too many Vex, which of course we do, and we go there to figure out all this information, to figure out what their kind of deal is, how they operate, and this is where we really figure out that they're a hive mind kind of species. What's also interesting about the Ishtar Collective is, if I remember correctly, just before all the researchers died, they kind of supplanted themselves into the collective so that they're a part of the data stream. So that this is where we figure out the Vex are more than just machines. They're an actual sentient race, and they have consciousness. And the Vanguard are like, oh, that's not good. They're more dangerous than the Hive, probably. For some reason, it's only probably. Don't quite understand that. But, you know, the Vanguard, they're obviously in charge, so we do what they say. So then we get to mission 13. We find a hidden archive in Venus where we search to regain some lost human knowledge from the Golden Age. And lo and behold, apparently there's also Fallen on Venus, so we have to fucking fight through them to get through this. We find out that in this archive, there is information on both the Vex and the Fallen, and then it also has information about just other human colonies that were founded during the Golden Age. And so the Vanguard's like, hell yeah, knowledge, awesome. We finally kind of know what the Vex and the Fallen are trying to do. So, mission 14. We are, sent after a Kell of the House of Winter. So a Kell is the leader of a house, and a house is how the Fallen are separated.
It's like Hogwarts, but for bastards.
Pretty much.
Okay.
And he has the Fallen dish have wonderful names. So his name is Draxus.
I'm stealing that. That's actually pretty good. I've used that for a D&D character.
So our mission is to take him down, wipe out the leadership of this Fallen house on Venus. So
Okay.
we take him out, and the Vanguard are like, that's probably taken out the Fallen presence on Venus for the most part. So let's just focus on the Vex now. So we go on to mission 15, where we find out that in between these missions, we find out that there is a thing called the Black Garden that kind of is the driving force behind the Vex on Venus.
Okay.
And it's like this like pure darkness kind of energy ball. And I do have a picture because hell yeah.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
So
I'm gonna feel bad because I'm not gonna do this many pictures. I'll do some, but
this is the heart of the Black Garden.
That's a ball.
That
Ball don't bounce, my guy.
Yeah.
Alright, well, this is on the game designers at this point. That's
So we know that this is basically controlling the Vex on Venus, and this is kind of what has also been creating them on Venus. So we find out that what we need is to go to what is known as the Reef, which is where all the Awoken come from. And it's like this kind of ship graveyard ether zone out beyond our solar system.
okay.
So, the Reef.
Yeah. Looks like what I assume is at the bottom of Mariana's Trench.
Just basically a big space junk in this big ether cloud. And this is where we meet the Queen of the Awoken and her little dipshit brother. And that is Queen Marasov and her brother Aldrinsov.
Very sub and Aldrin, so hell yeah.
So, Queen Marsov, Destiny Goth Mommy, and her brother. First of all, they look like this, actually. They
Why does he
kinda-
have an emoer? I don't like that.
It's because he's emo as fuck.
This should lead us right to the grave. The world's grave.
They kind of talk amongst themselves, and they're like, all right, well, we can tell you how to get to the Black Garden. What you need to do is kill this thing called a Gate Lord. And the Gate Lord is basically this massive Vex Minotaur. And what you need to do is you need to take the eye of it, bring it back to us, and we'll give you basically a key to the Black Garden. So we go out, we go find this Gate Lord. We defeat it after a long battle, because that fucker summons in other little Vex buddies to help him.
Alright.
We bring back the eye, and they're like, haha, we just wanted to see if you would actually survive that. Because we're emo as fuck, and we hate actual humans. Because fuck you guys, you left us to die pretty much. But they decide to tell us how to get to the Black Garden anyways. Because they honestly thought we were gonna die. Then the Vanguard is like, holy shit, how the hell did you kill that Gate Lord? We couldn't fucking do that. And the Exo Stranger appears and is like, alright, so what you need to do in order to defeat the darkness, you need to go to the Black Garden, which is actually on Mars. Don't really remember why it switches from Venus and Mars. Something there or whatnot. I think it's, if I remember correctly, it's you enter a portal on Mars and then you go. That takes you to some like isolated area on Venus. Yeah, so she tells you gotta go to Mars to get to that portal so you can go to the Black Garden. And the Vanguard is like, I'm not so sure about her. We don't know if we should really trust her. But hey, you should go to Mars anyways. Hey, in case you forgot what Mars looks like.
No. I've played Doom, I haven't.
Have you forgotten what Mars looks like? Looks something like that.
That looks like what they drew it as an Invincible. What the fuck? Rewatched that episode the other day, too.
So we go to Mars, our final planet to go to in this game for the base campaign. And we encounter our fourth alien race, and they are called the Cabal.
The Cabal!
Or as I like to call them, the Space Rhinos. You got the Scions, who actually aren't technically a part of the same race as the rest of the Cabal. They're actually an imprisoned species that are used as cannon fodder by them. Kind of like, the Ungoi / grunts are with the Covenant.
Yeah. Are they really in prison, though, or are they just slaves? Wait, never mind.
Basically the same thing.
So I was just gonna say, never mind, same difference.
And then you got they're basically other normal units, the Legionaries. They're just kind of basic dudes with big guns and they're big boys. Got the Phalanx. He's just a big dude. He got a shield. He like to block the shots because he's an asshole. Centurion. He's basically just a bigger legionary. He has. This is our energy shield guy of this race. And then you got the Colossus. He got a big gun.
He does have a big gun.
He's basically just got this big minigun, and he can also like shoot out rockets occasionally if he wants to. They're a pain. So of course we gotta show the actual ones now.
Not the autistic, I mean artistic representation.
So you got your scions. They obviously they don't quite look the same as if I were to show you the legionary,
Interesting.
because these guys look a little more rhino built.
Yeah, that's jacked as shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, they're just like pure muscle.
Oh, lovely. Goddamn mutants.
So I realized after I did that drawing that I actually drew the phalanx of Destiny 2, because this is what their shields look like in Destiny 1.
Man.
And let me tell you, I'm glad they switched to the ones they did in Destiny 2, because in these ones, there was no way to get them to take down their shield, whereas in Destiny 2, you can shoot the center of the shield and it discharges the shield for a bit. So,
Okay.
yeah,
In Destiny 2, is it like energy based or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
That's why a good old ballistic shield will do wonders.
yeah. And then, I honestly didn't know how to draw the Centurion, because he literally just is a bigger legionary.
Yeah, he kind of just is. He has little wingies.
Yeah, I guess. And then you got Big Boy.
God, he's jacked.
So you encounter them, you kind of have to fight them back, and go to this location where you have to open the portal to the Black Garden. And you're just constantly having to fight them back until the portal finally activates. And then when the portal activates, then you have to deal with Vex coming out, and you have to fight them back. And then you finally enter the Black Garden. And you have to traverse through this Vex-filled area to finally get to the heart of the Guardian, which is that big black orb thing that we discussed earlier.
Mhm.
And that is literally linked directly to the darkness. So and then what the heart of the garden does is it activates these statues of basically what are giant versions of minotaurs, and you fight them one by one, and they're basically like the guardians of the heart. So you fight them down one by one. After a long fight, you finally destroy the heart. You push it back to darkness, or so you think. And I'm going to leave that at that. So you basically just buy humanity more time. And then you come back to the tower, and you start to notice that the traveler is showing signs of recovery. It's kind of regaining more of its light power again. And the Vanguard and the tower, they celebrate this victory, and but they're still kind of like, something still feels off. There's probably still more going on that we're gonna have to deal with. And then in the final little bit, the Exo Stranger meets up with us and says, basically, the battle has just begun. It's far from over. And then she hands us her rifle, and that's basically it for the story. For the base story, that is.
Interesting.
Any extra questions or comments?
Not particularly. I'm curious how much is in like the strikes and stuff.
I suppose I could probably do
Like how much?
a video on just the strikes and kind of tie them into where they tie into the main story.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Because then there's also just like a shit ton of side missions as well, but side missions.
This is Yeah, this is just to cover the main synopsis of the game.
And then I will say, obviously, this is nowhere near a complete guide of what happens in the main story. And I'm going to say to anyone who watches this and to you, if you want to learn more of the actual Destiny lore, there's a great resource on YouTube. His name is My Name is Bife. That's his title or his channel name. And I'll probably shove his like YouTube into the description. Well, that's gonna be it for this episode of Loosely Canon. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't, maybe you enjoyed my shitty drawings, and next time, Eclipse
maybe
will be
think of
covering.
Next time I'll be covering Bioshock, which I still need to play, which I'll do this weekend.
I've never played, so I'll be learning a shit ton.
Yeah, Bioshock is a very interesting story, but that's for next time. See y'all then.
See ya.